Hey everyone, it's Glenn. It's towards the end of 2025. It's been a while since I talked to you, but I want to let you know the reason I started this podcast is because I want to let you know that you're not alone. We're not alone. Let's talk about it. Okay, like I said, you're not alone. We're not alone. The reason I started this podcast is because maybe you don't have a therapist. Maybe you don't have a best friend. Maybe you're not in a grief group. Maybe you just need to hear from someone who's kind of going through what you're going through. And hopefully that could be me in the podcast, because me reaching out and sharing with you what I'm going through with grief might just help somebody. I've done that with my songs and always with the hope that I could help somebody. So here we are, Club Grief. We're in this season 4, towards the end of 2025. And let me recap a little bit how grief has been in my life. See, I didn't think much about it because I never really lost somebody that close to me. Until 1991, I lost my father. Suddenly, I was living in Los Angeles, California. He was back in Philly. And I just got the call and it just wrecked my world. I had to fly back, longest flight in my life, and deal with that. And I had my family there and we helped each other. And then with it, a week later, I'm back out in Southern California. So that hit hard, but then my life just went on. I fell in love with a beautiful, smart woman who meant everything to me. It was the first time I truly felt love. Got married. We had a child, raised a family. We went through hard times, hard seasons, like a lot of you have and maybe still do. And sometimes I made some bad decisions, good decisions. We had some good memories, and we just kept going as best we could. And like a lot of you. And it really didn't strike me much until 2018 when, oh, by the way, in between that time, before 2018, we lost a few cats here and there, and that's always hard because they're like your family. My wife and daughter rescued many of them and brought them in and gave them a great home and gave them love, and they gave love back. So, and that's hard too. We all go through loss of something. That's hard when you lose a pet who's close to you. And sure, there's other things like lose a car, lose the money, lose a job, lose a relationship, lose anything like that. It's a little hard, but it's not traumatic as when you lose someone very close to you in a very traumatic way, which I'll talk about in a second when I deal with my wife Heidi. So 2018, my wife asked me to go check on my mother-in-law, her mother, on Thanksgiving morning. I went over, knocked on her door, and there was no answer, and I tried to open it. It was locked, and a neighbor came by and gave me a key, and I went to open it, and the chain was on the door, and I thought, all right, well, that's weird. And so I got it open, and I said, Marilyn, and she didn't answer. And I said, all right, you know what? I'm just going to shove the door in. And basically I took it and pushed the door in. It's an old building, and the chain popped off. And I looked, and there she was in bed. It wasn't very pretty. I do remember it to this day, everything that she looked like. I told the neighbor, call 911. And as I touched her, she was cold, like a wax figure, and the look on her face, the grimace was very hard. But at the same time, I thought, okay, this is a fact. My mother prepared me for death because she worked in a hospital. She worked at a nursing care facility. People died all the time. She'd say, bag them and tag them, get them out of there. And it didn't make it easy, but I just accepted the fact that there's my mother-in-law suddenly. She's gone, and it's a long story. I won't get into it. I've talked about it earlier in another episode. So if you want to hear about that, you can check it out. But it was hard to make it through that. I had to tell my wife, and we dealt with it as a family. But it didn't strike me that much as I guess it should have. And I just, okay, well, going back to work, doing what I have to do. And then 2019, my wife has a heart attack. And suddenly I'm at the point where I could lose the most beloved person in my life that I ever had. And she survived a stent operation, and she got herself back into a program. And I thought, okay, so here we are. We faced two pretty rough things. My mother-in-law passing away suddenly, and my wife surviving her heart attack. And by the way, where I'm right now, it's kind of stormy and the wind's blowing in the background. So if you hear wind, that's the wind blowing through, the storm coming, and it's a comforting feeling being October 2025. Anyway, and then in 2020, the world experienced the pandemic. And I'm like, okay, I got the shocking news. Like I said, you lose a job. My job ended on my birthday of that year of 2020. And suddenly we lost a cat. We lost our beloved dog, Sparky, who died. She died right in our room where I was, and that was hard. But we were family together. And then I got a word. My mother was sick. She went to the hospital, the nursing care facility, and I contacted them. And the next thing I know, she was gone, just like that. I got the call one Sunday night with my daughter, and it didn't hit me that hard. I don't know why. I can't explain it. I didn't accept it. I guess I did accept it, but it was just routine. Like, okay, my mother's gone. What do I need to do? I had family back there who were handling everything, and the pandemic, I couldn't go back, and nor was I needed, and so it was out of my hands. So there it was, my father gone, my mother-in-law gone, my wife surviving a heart attack, our dog gone, some cats gone, my mother just passing, and there was a lot to deal with her belongings, and there was a lot of hard feelings and things that happened that hurt me from family members. And then the next year around Christmas, my younger brother, who I love very much, he had a hard life. He suddenly passed away too. And I got the call again, and just going like that. And I didn't really go into grief or grief group or therapy or anything. And my wife was there and my daughter, and they helped me through it, but it really wasn't shocking. It was like, okay, this is what happens. Go back to work and do your job. And then when grief really sunk in, and again, I didn't even process any of this grief over time. It just like, I think it was just inside. I was like holding on to just getting through and feeling, say, all right, this is just life, because I have my wife and daughter. And then I'm not going to go into details because it still hurts. And I still have PTSD from it, and adjustment disorder with depressed mood and anxiety and grief and depression. And let me just end it here, and I'll pick up with that thought next time. Anyway, as a reminder, you're not alone. We're not alone. It's Club Grief. We'll talk again. Be safe and be well. Bye now.